Welcome to Pop-O-Holics, the show about hot takes hotter than hot, tasty pancakes. I am your host, Christian Cady, a very nice man who treats all of his co-host, with respect from my secret basement of trash that I apparently live in. You've reached a weekly upload. Welcome, visual watchers of the YouTube and listeners of the pod. So happy to have you. Again, I'm Christian Cady. I'm the host of this mess, and I'm joined, as always, by
Chris Conkling
and
Brian Dupree.
Oh man, I love you both, and I'm so excited that you're here with me for another wonderful episode of the show. What do we have planned for you? Well, for our watching, or as some people call them, viewers of YouTube. Yes, we are going to be talking about news. We're going to be talking about the new Venom movie. Trailer just dropped for that, some Disney Plus news, and some other stuff. And then for our audio listeners, we're going to dive into what we've been consuming for the week, as well as some community feedback. But let us not delay any further. I want to jump right into the show and get started with Brian's wibbly-wobbly, wackiest of news corners.
Welcome back to the news section, everybody. As Christian said, we have the first trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So this movie is directed by Andy Serkis and written by Kelly Marcel. It stars Tom Hardy reprising his role as Venom and Eddie Brock and Venom, and Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy and Carnage. So I know I'm probably the hottest on Venom of the three of us, probably by a decent margin, but I really enjoyed the feel of that movie, kind of how it was back to an earlier age of comic book movies that were perfectly self-contained and honestly really silly and kind of self-aware of their silliness. This trailer seems to lean into the elements of Venom that I enjoyed, and seeing Woody Harrelson as Carnage, that's an easy sell for me. Like, I'm actually pretty excited for this movie. The first scene itself, just seeing the relationship that Venom and Eddie Brock have together now, it looks like there's a lot of potential for hilarity and some good action as well. What did you think of this trailer, Chris?
So I'm not, like you said, I'm not the biggest fan of the first movie. I think the best thing that movie did was the symbiote and Eddie Brock relationship. Everything surrounding that, though, was awful, in my opinion. So I wasn't a giant fan. I did eventually see the movie at a friend's house at no cost to myself, which I think helped a little bit with how I digested it. So it's not terrible. It's just not the best. But I'm really excited for Let There Be Carnage, mostly because Andy Serkis is directing this film. The king of motion capture is directing this movie. And I don't know if you guys saw his Jungle Book movie, but that was pretty good. I actually enjoyed that movie. It had some dark moments. So he's capable as a director, and he's proven that he does wonders in the motion capture and visual effects side of filmmaking. And based on this trailer, we're just getting more of that symbiote Eddie Brock dynamic that I thought was strong in the first film. So I'm excited for this. I think I would actually see this film in theaters, unlike what I did with the first one.
Would you
Christian,
actually
how do you feel?
Would you pay real American money?
I would pay real American money to see
it's
Venom
Chris's
Let There Be Carnage.
dollar certed.
You gotta vote with your dollars, folks.
I'm pretty excited because I spent $15. I have this, I needed it for the ending credit soundtrack.
It's what we were all there for, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think there's so many redeeming qualities. I mean, it kind of has it's weird because it was a Sony produced thing. It's got the Marvel problem where it's like just kind of a dumb plot with a dumb big ending that's not super satisfying, but everything else I think is excellent. Like Tom Hardy's awesome in it, and his relationship with Venom, it's fun. There's a lot of fun scenes, a lot of memorable stuff. Riz Ahmed is completely wasted in that movie, which is sad. Playing
ridiculous. He's ridiculous in the movie.
And seeing him in Sound of Metal just be giving off a really great Oscar-worthy performance, and then being forced into this dumb role that is just so flat of a character. It sucks. So that stuff's all disappointing, but the movie was very enjoyable, and as I think it's gonna live and die by the script. I think it's gonna still look really good because the Venom movie, I think it looked fine. There's some stuff that was which will probably definitely look better with second round. But I think the picture is going to live and die by the script, and whether or not they can actually make the plot and the surrounding characters, like you said, Chris, interesting. But overall, I'm really optimistic by the talent. And Woody Harrelson playing Carnage. I mean, come on, what a.
This is it.
I really want to watch the
looks
trailer,
great
but I
as
also
well.
I don't want to. I can't. I'm excited for the movie. I'm already sold. I'm sold on the cast, sold on the creative direction. That I don't need the trailer to sell it for me, but I really want to see it just because I want to see Woody Harrelson be like wacky.
I'll
for it.
say,
I
I think the trailer. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
We were probably going to say the same thing, Brian. I was just going to say, Christian, I think you should at least watch this first trailer and then not watch any of the other trailers if you want just like a little taste, because technically this is a teaser. It's not like going into any deep plot elements or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
then I could just
I know how you stand.
the
I know
second
how you
trailer.
stand when it comes to trailers.
I'll just watch
So.
the second trailer, and then I'll watch the third, and I'll watch the fourth, and then I'll read the script,
That's
and then
dangerous.
I'm just
You're living on the edge.
It's a slippery slope, Chris, and I won't be a part of it.
No,
All
Christian,
right.
I will say,
I respect it. I respect it.
I definitely respect it as well. I think this trailer does. It's not one of these trailers that feels like it gives you the entire plot of the movie, but yeah, everything looks good, and I think it'll be cool to see the characters' design for the first time in the movie. So I definitely
There is a
support
scene
that.
in this trailer that I think you're going to get a kick out of when you see it in the movie. If it makes it to the final cut,
Good,
I
and
think
it'll
you're
be
really
like a
gonna,
highlight. It
gonna
won't
laugh
be
at it.
like something I saw in the trailer. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'll get off my
Yeah,
soapbox.
so that's Venom: Let There Be Carnage. That'll be out in the U.S. September 24th in theaters and on IMAX. The next piece of news, and by the time this comes out, there could be 4 or 5 other people in this cast, but we have gotten a bunch of Knives Out 2 casting announcements. So most recently, we got Catherine Hahn, but also Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, and Edward Norton were all added to this cast. On top of Daniel Craig, who had already signed on, who's reprising his role as Benoit Blanc. We knew that Ryan Johnson had all the money, and he's clearly shelling it out for some huge names. This movie, I am ridiculously excited for it. How do you guys feel about this casting news?
Can't wait. I'm super excited. We've talked about Knives Out 2 before on the show.
Right.
It's going right to Netflix, as we mentioned before. But what I'm really happy to see based on this casting information is that it looks like it's going to have just as stacked a cast as the original one did, and I'm totally here for it. Like, if every Knives Out sequel is just a new cast with a ton of A-list actors surrounding Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig is Benoit Blanc, like, regardless of what the setting is, I'm fucking ready. Like, that sounds so entertaining. And just the few people that they've already announced, it sounds like it's going to be a really fun movie. Granted, we have no information about what the plot's going to be,
Nope.
but based on the direction of the first one, I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, I'll only watch it if it's directed by J.J. Abrams and they rewrite the script. No, of course I'm
I
excited
need
for
more
this.
lens flare for sure.
Yeah, he's going to take everything that the fans didn't like with the first one and then turn it on its head in the sequel, I've heard.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I'm a big Ryan Johnson fan. He made one of my favorite Star Wars movies, and he's directed some of my favorite. He directed my number one favorite movie of all time. So I'm biased, but I do want to say that part of the reason that these casting is really exciting. Number one, they dropped it like they're releasing a bunch of singles. Like every day, they were like, "Guess who else is in Knives Out?" So genius marketing.
New Knives Out just dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, getting newsworthiness every day. So marketing people. Touche, you're doing great. But also, like, if we think about Ryan Johnson's career, this is the type of story in movies that he's really excelled at. So I think it's a wonderful series of films that he's going to be able to create, because this is kind of his bread and butter. Like, I really do think with movies like Brick and Knives Out, that's really like the best of what Ryan Johnson does. So just seeing all these people come on board, and obviously people respect him, part of what makes it a really special relationship is there's so much trust that the actors have with him, because he's put in the work that they'll go to crazy lengths. Then they'll go with him on like crazy ideas of what they can do, right? So the whole thing excites me greatly, and I think I think kind of movie Knives Out is where Ryan Johnson really lives at home.
I can't wait to see what type of character Catherine Hahn's playing. As of this recording, Catherine Hahn was the most recent addition to the cast, and having just come off of WandaVision as Agatha Harkness, that was such a
Amazing.
fun villainous character. Like I
She was
think
great
Catherine
too.
Hahn
She was one of
totally
the best
fits.
parts of the series. In my opinion.
Absolutely,
Standout.
absolutely. So I think she totally fits into a movie like this, and I can't wait to see what she does.
Oh, we're just getting word in. We're getting word in. Hold on the wire. This just released. I am gonna be in Knives Out 2.
Excellent.
Congratulations. Oh my gosh.
Thank
This
you.
is a long
Is
time to me.
John Schumacher still
Yeah,
feeding us
John
insider info?
Yeah, I got this. It hasn't been announced yet, but my buddy John Schumacher, the shoemaker himself, he just sent me the word, and I'm very excited. I do have to give him, like, he does need $100 to get home from a bus from Cleveland at the moment. He was out doing promo shoots. Anyway, that's an update on John Schumacher. More to come next week.
So yeah, that's Knives Out too. We will probably have a bunch more casting news to talk about next week with that. All right, a piece of news that kind of came out of nowhere for me. 3 previously canceled Cartoon Network Adult Swim shows, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse, and The Venture Bros, have gotten picked up by Adult Swim to do new original movies, 90-minute movies that are going to be going to Blu-ray and DVD and on demand for 90 days at some point. So these shows are all have kind of like cult-like followings. A lot of Adult Swim does, but Aqua Teen Hunger Force started in 2001 and went for 11 seasons. Metalocalypse started in 2003 and ran for 4. And Venture Bros premiered in 2003 and ran for 15 years off and on. So I think I have never gotten big into any of these shows. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is something that I've seen probably 15 or 20 random episodes, but I've never went through and watched it front to back. But always enjoyable and absurd when I'm in the mood for it, right? I think this is something that is like a huge nostalgia trip for a lot of people these days, and I can't imagine that these things won't do well with how much people are diehard fans. I had a fan who was a huge fan of Venture Bros and was very upset when that ended, and it's something that I kind of maybe want to get into now, hearing this news that something is coming back. So, did you guys ever watch any of these shows?
I did. You know, the Venture Bros and Metalocalypse are 2 shows that, like you, Brian, I kind of only watched off and on. But Aqua Teen Hunger Force was a show I used to watch religiously, kind of in Adult Swim's peak, schedule with C Lab 2021 and Aqua Teen Hunger Force and like kind of those classic Adult Swim shows. I loved all of them. There is a pre-existing Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, and I asked you guys earlier if you'd seen it. I have a couple of times, and I have to say, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Aqua Teen Hunger Force functions best when they're 11-minute episodes as opposed to a 90-minute segment, because the longer that movie went on, the more I was like exhausted. Like the humor was exhausting me and the absurdity was exhausting me. But like,
Interesting.
you're right. These shows have huge followings. They're incredibly funny. So I'm excited to see what they do with these films coming out. Christian, did you watch any of these shows?
No, I've seen. I think out of all of these, probably the Venture Bros is my favorite one. But I haven't seen a ton of that. It's like I can't. I don't know. I don't smoke pot anymore, so watching like a milkshake talk to a box of French fries.
I mean, they have their demographic.
It's real hard to do that for more than 11 minutes for sure. I think you're making the best point. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of love. The guy behind Metalocalypse, I don't know his name off. I couldn't even guess what his name
Brendan
was.
Small and someone else.
Look at you, right off the trigger, fact man. I think they're very talented. I think there's a lot of funny stuff here. It is just not my cup of tea. I recently talked about rewatching some of the Eric Andre. That is much more doable for me, and I prefer that to some of the cartoons. Rick and Morty is about as zany as I get. But I think it's a smart move to order these as movies rather than renew each of them for another season, right? I think it lets the creators tell a definitive story or whatever they want to, if that's what you can call it. So I think it's fun, and I'm happy for the fans of these shows. And it could be cool. I mean, if I hear good things about it, it might be entry point, or it may just be like homogenous to the show as a whole. So we'll have to see.
Like Brian said, it'll be a nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse, and the Venture Bros movies that were ordered by Adult Swim. So we'll keep you up to date on those. All right, last piece of news. This one, it's the end of an era, guys. This is kind of the last crack in the dam has broken, and Shang-Chi
The last
and
crack
Free
in
Guy.
the last crack in the dam.
I don't know. I
That
was
what
looking
makes
for
the
something-
dam explode?
It was
The crack
the dam
before
has
the
burst.
the dam has
Cinema is
cracks in
dead.
it. There's
Wait.
water coming through.
Wait, but
and it
before
killed
there was
cinema.
other cracks where water was coming through. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, and the
camel's
camel
crack.
This,
camel-
this is the straw that broke the dam's back.
Well, the dam is the camel. The camel's blocking the water, and it has the
The
final.
camel's name is Dam. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
Damn, the camel's back has been broken by the last crack, which was inflicted by a straw. I don't know. Anyway, Brian, proceed. What's are we talking about waterways here? What's going on?
So it's been announced that Shang-Chi and Free Guy will be streaming after only 45 days in theaters. So this is half the formerly standard 90-day window where this would happen. We've been talking about a few other companies had done similar things, some of them as few as 17 days after initially releasing. But yeah, Disney has come out and made this decision, and it feels like the beginning of the end of a certain time period. And I don't think this is necessarily the end of cinema. I think people are still going to want to go and see movies. We saw with Godzilla vs. Kong, that is a very particularly big blockbuster movie, but people are still hungry for that experience. So I still have
definitely.
hope for it generally. But yeah, so I try and look at this positively. People are going to be able to see more movies without having to leave their homes. And these days, people aren't as comfortable going out. So I think this was kind of an inevitability. And
Before you jump in, Chris, because I know you're itching. This is Marvel news. I can see it in your bones, and we got a rhythm here. But you know me, I like to mix things up. Chris, do you think that there will be a Marvel movie that you will forego seeing immediately and watch on a streaming service? Or do you still think, for Marvel films, if it's, obviously we're about to reach where we're all maximum vaccination,
Right.
but do you foresee you going like, it's the third Ant-Man movie, I'll wait and watch it on Disney streaming, and I'm not going to see it in theaters. Are you thinking about these things?
I am, and I don't think so. My wife and I are now fully vaccinated, and our initial plan for Black Widow was to pay the $30 to see it on Disney Plus instead of going out to the theater. But literally the day we got vaccinated, I was like, I really want to see Black Widow in a movie theater. Like, I think it's deserving of being seen in a theater. So even with that, something that we initially planned to kind of play it safe with, we've done a 180 on, and we're planning to go see it in theaters now. So Shang-Chi comes out on my birthday this year, which is kind of exciting. There's no way I'm going to wait the 45 days to see it streaming. I definitely want to see it in theaters opening day. And every film that they have coming down the pipeline, I think I would do the same with. But who's to say? It really depends on like what the state of the country is looking like in regards to cases. There may come a time where I feel more comfortable watching one of these at home. But like, as long as it's safe to go out, I don't foresee a moment, at least with the current listing of Marvel movies that are being made, that I would forego the theater experience to watch it streaming, unless I absolutely had to.
Okay, but Chris, I thought we were still having a Black Widow party, where we were all gonna watch it at your house.
I want to do that. I think we should do that.
I think we should do that. Yeah.
But I think we should do it in a theater.
What? No, your house, and then we can like.
I don't. No, let's go to a theater, bro.
I want to go to.
Let's.
Chris, I haven't been in your house in a year. Anyway, we'll talk about it off the pod.
We'll figure it out. We'll
I'm down
figure
for
it out
both of
later.
these things.
We could do it twice. Dude, this is how sick I am and how addicted I am to the MCU.
You're sick? I'm not coming over to your house.
Oh no!
There's this part of my brain that's like, yeah. I'll go see Black Widow first in theaters, but like as soon as I get home, I'm paying the $30 so I could watch it continuously on Disney Plus. But an initial viewing, as of right now, and depending on finances, will be in theaters.
And that's gonna be your first movie back. You don't want to go see the.
Nope, F9 will not be. I refuse.
Putting his foot hard down on the brake pedal.
I have yet to see.
It has to be Black Widow.
I have yet to see a movie in theater since Tenet when I rented out the theater with some friends. I don't think Black Widow's gonna be my first one. I think I'm gonna try to catch a showing maybe in the next couple weeks of that Bob Odenkirk movie.
Nobody?
Yeah, because I'm fully maxed in, as we'll talk about later in this episode. I went and saw a concert. I'm getting out there. I'm doing it. It's feeling good.
Hey.
So I'm ready to get back out there. Put myself back out on the market.
Yeah.
Not for
I do
relationship. No, I'm in a very
in terms of
relationship.
In terms
Chris,
of
I just need to
you're
clarify
putting
this.
yourself back out there.
I'm not single.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think so.
Just wanted to let all the ladies that watch our show
not
know.
on that market.
Yeah, on the entertainment market, of which I am very much available.
We're getting mixed messages here.
Before we move on, I do want to say that I was joking earlier when I said cinema's dead. That, like Brian said, that's absolutely not the case. But this is a little unsettling, if I'm not going to lie. Like, cutting that initial theatrical window in half is going to rub a lot of industry people the wrong way. Actors, directors, exhibitors, all of the above.
What are they going to do? It's Disney. They don't have a choice.
They can't. And that's why I think Bob Chapek is he's made it clear over the last year that his focus going forward with entertainment is streaming. He wants to change the direction of how Disney's delivering content to its customers. But I think it's going to rub people the wrong way. And in this article, there's also no mention of what's happening to the VOD window. So we're still kind of unclear on that. Like, after the 45 days, is the film coming out on Blu-ray and VOD first and then going to streaming? Is it going right to streaming? Like, this is a new world that we're in. And I'm interested to see how it pans out and how people react to it, because it could be incredibly detrimental to the theater industry. Maybe not Hollywood as a whole, but this isn't a good sign for theaters. But like Brian said, there are still people that would prefer to experience movies in theaters than in their homes. I'm just wondering, with the amount of time that films are going to spend in theaters, can they make the same amount of revenue? That's the question. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely is going to remain to be seen, and hopefully it does, right? We all want to keep these things alive, and we'll definitely be supporting our local theaters. I know I will, probably too much.
Brian, how many movies have you already seen in 2021?
New movies, 38 right now, I think.
Look at this man go.
The count.
I think, Brian, you are a case, because you saw a lot of those movies unvaccinated. I think you're the case that going to see movies was relatively safe with the amount of people that, with a smaller crowd. So,
I was
for science.
I know I've talked
you did
about
it for
before.
science.
And I was actively, not
science.
going to super crowded screenings and stuff.
Right.
It's kind of easy these days with how you can do it. But
You're like, it's super easy because no one's there, and that industry is not long in the tooth. It was actually safer than staying at your house.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
So moving on to some stuff that's coming out this week that you can watch from home. We're going to start with a couple of TV shows. We've got Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. This show stars Patton Oswalt as M.O.D.O.K, and the summary is, while pursuing his dream of conquering the world, a megalomaniacal supervillain runs his evil organization into the ground. So this is created by Jordan Blum and Patton Oswalt, and directed by Eric Towner and Alex Kramer, and stars Patton Oswalt, Melissa Fumero, Amy Garcia, and Ben Schwartz. All 10 episodes are coming out this Friday on Hulu, and I am definitely going to be checking out this show. I know every time I bring up a show like this, I say I don't really watch sitcom-y television anymore, the Family Guy style. Um, but this is a superhero spin on it, a supervillain spin in particular, and this looks like so much fun. It looks kind of outside of canon, not really beholden to a lot of the other stuff that's happening. And it's Patton Oswalt, who is consistently hilarious, right? So yeah, that looks really interesting. The trailer's great. That's Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. that's coming to Hulu this Friday. Also coming out this Friday, we've got Solo coming to Prime Video. Solos, excuse me. So this stars
Not to
Morgan
be
Freeman,
confused with Solo, a Star Wars story.
widely acclaimed Star Wars story.
Also, Solo is kind of an oxymoron of a word. Anyway, continue.
It's well, okay. So this is an anthology show. So it's a collection of performances, if I understand it correctly, starring Morgan Freeman, Anne Hathaway, Helen Mirren, Uzo Aduba, Anthony Mackie, Constance Wu, Dan Stevens, and Nicole Bahari. Anthony Mackie is in everything the last 6 months. It seems like I'm totally here for
doing
it, though.
well.
Yes, exactly. So the premise of this show is the series ponders what it means to be human, arguing that we are connected to others through shared experiences, even in our most isolated moments. So this is very much a kind of locked down looking show. Very few actors on screen at a time, maybe just one person on screen at a time. But it's going to be a bunch of great performances, probably very emotional, life affirming stuff. Something that, we can always use a little more of with how dark the world can be these days. So yeah, that's 7 episodes that'll be on Amazon Prime this Friday, Prime Video. Moving into a comic that's coming out this week, we have issue 1 of Fantastic Four Life Story coming out. So we've talked a little bit about this previously, but this is being written by Mark Russell and drawn by Sean Isaacs, and takes the origin story in a slightly new direction. So I believe the main change is the dynamic between the Thing and his historically best friend Reed Richards. He's going to be introduced through Johnny Flame this time, I believe. So they're slightly changed. Excuse me. He's going to be introduced through Johnny Storm's character, and they're going to form a relationship through him. So I was never super familiar with the Fantastic Four comics, but have seen most of the movies, and although they are not the greatest comic book movies, I am drawn to these characters and definitely looking forward to reading this type of comic. Something similar was done with Spider-Man Life Story last year, or 2019, 2020, that we all read and enjoyed on different levels. So yeah, that's issue 1 of Fantastic Four Life Story that'll be coming out this Wednesday. All right, moving into some movies. We talked about it last week, but Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which follows a group of soldiers who plan a Las Vegas casino heist amid a zombie apocalypse, is coming to Netflix this Friday. This stars Dave Bautista, Ella Purnell, Omari Hardwick, and many others, and looks ridiculously insane. We talked about it last week. It's in theaters now. Some of you may have seen it, but if not, it's coming to Netflix this Friday, and it's probably going to be a worthwhile watch from everything that I've seen. Last piece of news, coming back to Prime Video. We've got a documentary following musical artist Pink called Pink, All I Know So Far. So she also has a new album that I believe is coming out in tandem with this. But this comes out Friday and is a behind-the-scenes look at Pink as she balances family and life on the road, leading up to her first Wembley Stadium performance on 2019's Beautiful Trauma World Tour. It's directed by Michael Gracie, and I don't know if you guys listened to Pink growing up. I was never a huge fan, but there are multiple tracks that are just kind of staples that I know. Mainly, Get the Party Started, a song that is ubiquitously played at weddings and dance parties and everything. She's got a bunch of songs that you may not know are Pink, but you've definitely heard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out this Friday to Prime Video.
She's a very popular artist to be pasted all over women's asses.
That's Victoria's Secret, I believe. But
right. Oh, it's a different artist.
she should be getting branding for that.
Well, she's not getting
free ads.
She's not getting a little chimichanga on the side for that. That seems like an
No,
oversight.
those are two different. Those are different things.
This is now making me think of selling something with like this space available for rent over asses.
Brian, that's going to be the
Men
Twitter
and
clip.
women. Oh, great. Yep,
That's
I've walked right into it.
good. No, you've included men. Perfect. It now loses its sexual connotation.
Hey, I was not the one who brought this up, but
No, I
yeah.
was just thinking. How does Pink merchandise anything with that going on? I would have.
She's got an exclamation point in her name.
Yeah, I was going to say the I in pink is an exclamation point. That's how she's differentiated.
That makes sense. There's a dot and a line in both of them. Very smart. Interesting. Moving on.
Yeah, so that's everything that's coming out this week, actually, and that's it for the news this week.
Chris, did you have anything to say about M.O.D.O.K? I just saw you. You're kind of moving around when M.O.D.O.K was being talked
Patton
about.
So
Oswalt.
excited.
Oh my!
So
I know
excited
you're
for
like
M.O.D.O.K.
your
Everything
favorite
about this is something
comedian.
I love.
Yeah. And you're like not interested. It's too much stuff that I love that there's no way it could be good.
It'll be too overwhelming. I don't think my brain will be able to take it. No, I'm super fucking excited for M.O.D.O.K. Patton Oswalt as M.O.D.O.K. That's perfect casting. The show's gonna be so funny. I can't wait. You'll probably end up hearing me talk about it in quick hits.
Do you think it was a
Loyal
good
listeners,
decision?
so.
Do you think it was a good decision to release all at once? I think it was potentially bad. I think the weekly is definitely the way to go for shows like that. So
Yeah, I prefer the weekly airing of television shows because then the show lasts. You know, the conversation lasts. But when you drop something all in one weekend, it's like, okay, it's the conversation for that weekend, and then it disappears into the zeitgeist. So we'll see. We'll see. You know,
Interesting.
I'm gonna watch it
because
regardless.
outside of the United States on Star Plus, they are doing it weekly. They're only doing one episode on Friday and then doing weekly drops. So
Interesting.
yeah, kind of an interesting decision, but
good thing I
They're
have that
going the Netflix
VPN
method.
so I could watch it slower. Be a part
There
of
you
the
go.
you
international
definitely know you
conversation.
get great ads from your VPN from last week's episode.
So that's going to do it for Brian's Wacky News Corner. Thank you, YouTube watchers, for viewing. There's a button with a bell. We need you to press it so you get all this news as soon as it's available and see more of our video content, of which there will be more of. Yes, it is. I think it's down that way. I think it's, I can't.
Oh, it's over there?
I can't. Hold on. Hold on.
This way?
I'm rubbing
This
it.
way?
I'm rubbing the belt. No. I think it's that way. I could be wrong though, Chris. You might reverse it when you edit this. I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
I don't know what the hell you do with all your. I just give
My
the videos
video
to you.
wizardry. I'm interneting to the ritual god.
Interneting to the ritual gods. Totally the name of the app. So that'll do it. Where can people find more of your work on the internet, Chris?
Loyal viewers, you can find more of my nerdy ramblings on Twitter at Chris Conkling. I'm talking about television, comic books, movies, video games, collectibles. You name it, I'm talking about it. If it's nerdy.
The moment of discovery that you had when you were like, loyal viewers.
You caught me in the middle of a drink of water. I had to process.
I know. I was actually I was like, always drinking water. And instead of being like a good, thoughtful person who was like, oh, I've messed up as a host, I was like, perfect. he's exposed.
Spontaneity.
He's exposed. Brian,
it.
where can people follow you on the Twits sphere?
You could find me at True Pop-O-Holic.
You can follow me at False Idol. I don't know.
Oh my god.
No, you can find me at Midnight Satire. I got a musical project that I swear to God it does do things that are new that are coming out. So follow that, and also funny band name memes. I'm just a funny band name meme generator. And subscribe to the pod. If you do that, you can listen to the rest of this ep, which will be on the audio format, and listen to what we've been consuming and our thoughts and opinions on that. If you care to do so, don't know why you would. At least for me, I don't know. I'm a jackass. They're great. I love both of them so much, and I hope they know that I respect.
Be talking about really exciting things, so I think you should go over and listen.
Yeah, what do we
to
tell?
the
I mean, we can give them a
For
little
sure.
teaser. You're gonna be talking about Mainstream. That's on Amazon. Paper Tigers. Brian has finally played The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh
there's
my
no
God.
way he's
Yes.
even 10% through it. So his initial impressions, I imagine. Very excited to hear.
I have. We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
Oh, so excited.
He actually just downloaded the game, looked at the title screen, and then shut the PlayStation off. So
and threw his PlayStation in the river. And I'm going to be talking about a really cool documentary called Strange Negotiations. And Christian, me, I went to a live rock show, which was really cool.
Jealous.
So a live event. Yeah, fearless. Vaccinated and getting vaccinated? No, that's nothing. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
vaccinated and vaccinated. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, my mouse is
Careless
going over
summer.
the video. I'm so sorry, Chris. My mouse was like, I was like twitching. My mouse is gonna go all over the video. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No
I
worries.
messed it up. Anyway, Christian's still learning how to do this thing.
Fuck it. We're doing it live.
We are in fact doing it live, but
No
then-
edits.
Well, Chris is very offended by edits. Anyway, let's not get too inside the pod. For our viewers, we'll see you later, and for the listeners, let's go into quick hits.